Hi, my name's Anna Cable,
And my name is Erin Lane.
and we're going to be talking about racial trauma and how that's passed on generationally.
Today we're going to be interviewing a few of Anna's friends and asking their opinions about these issues. So if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Antonio Scott.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Maurice Barnes.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike Blakemore. I'm from Lebanon, Tennessee. I've known Anna for a while, and she told me about this, so I thought it was pretty cool. So I thought I'd come check it out.
Okay? And so I'm just going to open up with so what are your overall, first thoughts, when I say police brutality?
I mean, honestly, I really don't really have much against the police, but the thing about it is, when I hear police brutality, I really just think a lot about, just honestly, just simple stuff, as in simple, traffic stops with black people or African Americans. Literally just simple stops. That's how it always really goes on simple traffic stops. Is really how it always begins. So, when I hear that, I'm thinking, you know, a black person's either being held at gunpoint or they're being wrongfully accused for something, or police aren't that. Or honestly, police is they're just not following the regulations. Like, my mom was a cop, and I know the regulations they gotta follow, and a lot of them really are just not following anything at all.
And in my perspective, I feel like it's like consecutive, like back to back to back to back to back. Like, you feel me? Like, to the point where it's natural now for black people to die, and you know what I'm saying? You never know. Oh, the next day you wake up, I get pulled over going to work, you know what I'm saying? I could die. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just traumatizing to the black race that, you know what I'm saying, we have to live in accordance to our skin, and that our skin matters, our skin color matters because, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's traumatizing to black people that they have to go through these things.
We just asked them the question, what comes to your mind when I say police brutality?
Police brutality.
Yeah.
What comes to my mind? I mean, currently, obviously, the Black Lives Matter comes to movement. The Black Lives Matter movement comes to mind, just to the forefront. But I mean, confusion, stuff like that. A bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. Hindsight, or just throwing out words that I think of.
Yeah, so, and then my second question was, how do you think that racial trauma manifests through generations? How are you gonna talk to your kids about that?
Well, it definitely manifests through generations. I mean, the same way, I have a white mom, I'm mixed, but she had to talk with me. I'm gonna have to talk about it with my son his whole time growing up, probably, just because it's not an overnight fix at all. But yeah, just it's ugly that I have to tell him about it, but I'm definitely going to tell my son about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope your son does not have to grow up in the world we gotta grow up in.
Yeah,
It's gonna get worse. I think it's gonna get terrible.
yeah,
Shit.
it's rough, man. I have a son, and it's wild, but I'm gonna make it work. They've been making it work. We're gonna have to make it work.
Heck yeah.
So, do you know how you're going to have that discussion with your kids when you have kids? Like, have you ever thought about how you're going to have that discussion with them?
No, I haven't really thought about the conversation.
I mean, me personally, I'm gonna let of course, everybody needs to, of course, but I'm gonna let them know, it don't matter your skin tone, it doesn't matter your race or nothing like that. It doesn't matter where you come from. Everybody's equal. We all bleed the same. So I mean, at the end of the day, we all die and we all go the same. Well, I'm not gonna say the same place, but like I said, bro, we all bleed the same. So I'm gonna let him know, don't ever be alarmed or scared of police. Some aren't how they're made out to be, and some are just you feel me? So, really, how I'm approaching him. Like I said, just let him know, never be scared. Always keep your guard up. be respectful. No matter how rude they are, just be respectful. It don't matter. And first of all, always have a dash cam. That's my kids definitely don't have a dash cam.
Yeah.
That's what I've been through. I ain't gonna cap. Mount Juliet's something different.
Yeah, every time I've been pulled over, it was in Mount Juliet. So
Mount Juliet's different, bro. Like that's why I moved.
Nah, Hendersonville different. Hendersonville different. They'll follow you all the way down the interstate. I went to the McDonald's, got in the line, my man pulled up, sat on the side, and literally waited for me to come out the line. I got my food, went out the line, left, turned right, got to the interstate, got on the interstate. He followed me all the way like 2-3 miles, and then pulled me over.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
And then, as far as like the recent protests, what do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like it's needed. It needs to be pushed on cops, even though, you know what I'm saying, some cops, mostly all cops are not bad. It's those few that think they have the power because they have that title, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's that they that they engrave their power. They think they're, you know what I'm saying, above people.
Yeah, for sure. It's the ones that abuse their power that give cops a bad name.
So, yeah.
yeah, I think the protests are cool. Well, not necessarily cool, but I think the protests are needed. But I think what we speak on at the protests could be a lot more, more of a roundtable discussion. Because like realistically, when you look like statistics, I support Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, but statistically, more blacks commit crimes against blacks than anybody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've been robbed before, and I've never been robbed by a white person. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that stuff a lot of people don't talk about. I think that's why it's so hard to get white people to buy in. Not a white people, but like the people that we're trying to get to listen to us. You feel me? It's hard to get them to listen because they see, oh, well, there was a shooting where seven kids were injured in Chicago, 4 of them last week. Stuff like that. There's like, it's hard to take a movement like that serious when realistically, when you hear about like black people on the news, it's always these crazy violent scenarios that white people have these crazy scenarios, and when they lash out and stuff like school shootings and stuff, it's a way bigger. Like that's one isolated issue that's a lot bigger than like somebody getting mugged or robbed by a black person. But whenever you're talking about big picture, you know what I mean? There's so much little stuff. I think that's where people get confused at with the white lives matter or all lives matter shit. They start thinking that we're talking about like, okay, well, y'all aren't even taking care of yourselves, so why are y'all pressing us?
Yeah,
But
sure.
I don't know. It's a great, it's a sticky area. You know what I mean? It's hard to talk about, and a lot of people don't like talking about how realistically black people do hurt a lot of black people. Like think about rap music and shit. People just rap about killing each other and robbing each other, and it's not that cool. You know what I mean? Like they're riding King Von when King Von got killed, but this guy was always in something, always talking about all his songs were about shooting at people and robbing people, and people act confused and surprised when people that we look up to in the black community die, they act surprised, and it's not a surprise when like a rapper gets killed to me.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah.
So, what do you think, like, as far as training for police officers, what do you think should be changed?
Not even more so about the training, I don't think. It's more so about their mindset and what they think.
They need to take like a mindset, literally like a mindset test,
and like
how the military does.
Like, because some cops may be racist, or some cops may be, they might not like black people. They might not like Asian people. They might not like white people. We do have those black cops that are racist towards white people. It's the same thing. It's It's people just have to learn how to get along with each other. You know what I'm saying?
I think if they took more of a military approach, then
That's what I'm saying.
then yeah, like more than like they vet people when you join the military. When you're joining a special ops team or something, they vet you, and when I say vet, that means like they look through all your social media, all your records and everything, and make sure you're just not a shitty person, well, a bad person. I don't want to say bad language in this,
Oh,
but you
you're
know,
good. You can say whatever.
all right. So they want to make sure you're not a shitty person before they put you in those positions a lot of the time.
And then they want to make sure you're not, you know what I'm saying, unstable in the mind, in the head, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Like they can, and like they can train a lot. I mean, honestly, I think if there was less cops that got paid more, a lot of the problems would go away. Like if there was less cops that were actually like highly trained professionals to make sure like they're doing the right thing. You know, like the same, like you feel me? When a SWAT team pulls up, you're not worried about the SWAT team like pulling over random people and starting random shit. They're there to deal with the situation, and they handle it pretty well most of the time. Sometimes, you know, like Breonna Taylor, she didn't get shot by a SWAT team. You know, this is from regular cops busting in her house that killed her. You know, that's pretty wild. But like, if you think about like from like a SEAL team perspective or something like that, I think it'd be like just to deal with violent crimes and stuff. I think it'd be a lot safer.
They know how to handle the situation.
Yeah. And higher qualified people would do it. If like, you know, more higher qualified people would do it if the paycheck was there. But these people that go to the military for 6 years and they come out with a huge like stipend from being in there, they go and they become college professors or they become a murder investigator or something like that. They don't want to go be a street cop because, you know, it's just they get paid about the same as a teacher. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we've all had shitty teachers, so it's the same way that's the same way it happens for cops. Like you end up with a shitty teacher the same way. Like just some guy who like it's like a last choice. You know? Oh, I don't have anything on my record. I'm broke as shit. I'm about to have a kid. I don't want to go across the country. I'm gonna be a cop. You know?
That's true.
So, yeah.
So this is my last question. What do you think about? So there's a lot of statistics proving right now that there's over policing in black neighborhoods, specifically like under the like economic income line.
Yeah.
So, and like public housing projects, stuff like that, they're over policed. So
I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
the only thing about that is because you gotta think like honestly from my perspective, like just like I've been to East like bad parts of Nashville and stuff like that. So sometimes it's honestly sometimes it's mandatory. Just the simple fact of like there's always different drugs going in and out. Not weed. I'm talking about like literally different types of drugs. And you got literally shootings, literally happening across the street. Little kids getting scared. Like bro, that shouldn't like no kid should have to be scared to go outside their house, bro. Like no cap.
Yeah. 2 3-year-olds got shot last week in Nashville.
You know what I'm saying? Like no kid should be scared to go outside their house to have fun and have a good time. Nobody should have to go outside and watch their kids and make sure they're not gonna get picked up or shot, bro. Like it's just too much going on. So yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
that piggybacks off the black on black crime thing I was talking about. There's like the strictest city when it comes to gun laws and policing their police is Chicago. You know what I mean? But if anybody who knows anything about Chicago knows that they have some of the highest shooting rates in the country by a long shot. So it's like, you know, I've lived in the projects plenty of times. My girl, she's from South Memphis. You feel me? Like I've lived in the hood. If there wasn't police there, a lot more stuff would go down. And that's why I think that's why I think the Black Lives Matter movement shouldn't just focus on police. You know what I mean? Because the police, yeah, like the police suck sometimes, a lot of the time, sometimes, you know. But like the biggest problem we got, I think, is really in the black community. Like people robbing each other and killing each other over because you know generational wealth isn't a thing in the black communities. So you don't grow up into a rich family. You grow up, you feel me? There's like a few generations of wealth in the black community of, you know, some instances, little families that popped out and did their thing back in the 60s. But, you know, like that the systemic racism part, that's where that comes into play. Because like why are black people stuck in this situation? And it's not just black people's fault that they're in that situation, but I think it's the responsibility of black people to get out of that situation. Like we can't force white people now to undo what white people did earlier, even though there's white people now that are stuck thinking that way. Because I think it's pretty clear now most rational people are with us, you know what I mean? It's not like white people are just all against us completely, but, you know, growing up in the projects and stuff like that, it's definitely, I don't know, the police, over policing is bad, but policing definitely needs to be a thing. And it definitely needs to be
Yeah, they
stronger
don't know why
there
they're
in some
actually
places.
there.
Because they're just worse neighborhoods, you know what I mean?
Well, I feel like this is part of how like the conversation like plays on because you got a bunch of white people that show up to Black Lives Matter protests and they really don't even know what they're there for.
yeah, they're just there to be there.
They're just there to be there.
It don't
Man.
be people from the hood at those protests. Is the thing. Like I moved out the projects last year. Like it don't be people from the hood there because like they're not worried about theirs. They're trying to get theirs and get on. You know what I mean? But it's the people from the outside looking in that see what's happening to those people that are speaking up the most. And that's like I think that's part of the issue. You know.
So, do y'all think social media is helping or hindering racial issues like these police brutality interactions that we're seeing on social media from a 10-second clip? Do you think that there's more to that, or it's exactly what we're seeing?
There's definitely always more to it. I'm not gonna lie, I get smart with the police every time I get pulled over. Just the simple fact of I shouldn't be getting pulled over. But yeah, there's always more behind it. Like the military officer that got shot, or he got shot. Right?
He got maced.
He got maced. Like I said, like yeah, I feel like there was more to that video. Like I feel like the officer, like the military dude, could have got smart. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was respectful the whole time. We don't know that duration, but we know exactly what happened after what was going on. Really, pretty much the main part that we needed to know, really.
Yeah.
What was the question she asked again?
I just asked, like, do you think social media is like helping or hurting racial issues since
Definitely.
videos like get posted that are like 10 seconds, but like we're not getting the full story? Like, do you think there's more to that, or like it's what we're seeing?
Well, I think it's definitely there's more to it a lot of the times. You know, there's definitely more to it. But I mean, first of all, yeah, I think social media helps. We wouldn't be talking about this. We're on social media right now. You know what I mean? It put like when Trayvon Martin got killed, social media wasn't even booming like that, but social media still carried that whole entire situation. So I think it definitely helps. It hurts as well in areas, but like I think it definitely helps. I don't know. I think there's a lot more to the story sometimes. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like this what's that kid that got shot? Just like last week, the light skinned kid. I don't know. He got shot. She meant to pull out her taser, but she pulled out her gun. And like stuff like that. Like there's
That's when you're going about the memes talking about she didn't know what a taser and a gun is.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was Dante, right?
Yeah, there's no excuse for not knowing what your taser is. But like he was definitely trying to hop back in the car too. You know what I mean? So it's like they'll piggyback on the small wrong that the person did, and they just forget about the fact that this person completely did not go by procedure at all, and they just pulled out a gun and shot this dude. You know, so it's there's more like there's some situations where I see like sometimes they start protesting before somebody even did anything. Y'all know that girl in Nashville that got killed like a month ago? There's a girl in Nashville that got killed by the police, like an older lady. She like clearly pulled a gun on this cop, and they were still like ready to protest over this. And I was like, we gotta start learning that like not every single black person that dies didn't do something. It's a lot. I don't know. There's so many ways you can go with each question that y'all ask. You know what I mean? Because there's so many parts to piggyback off of that. Because there's so many parts that build up the issue. You know, the country's been like this, been way worse than this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it seems redundant to keep arguing over race when it's just something like the whole world could just drop it right now. It's just like we're just not. It's so frustrating.
Like, do you think we should quit talking about it, or do you think it needs to be talked about more?
No, not quit talking about it. Say if the whole world dropped it right now, it was like boom, and like say everybody was like, all right, like I'm saying like in a perfect world, a utopia where everybody just dropped the situation, and everybody's like, oh, I'm not racist anymore, you know. But it doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We should. I mean, definitely, it should still keep being talked about. But I think talking about it's only gotten us so far. I think we talked about it for a whole year, and not really much has changed. I think it's time for, and like the action that we chose isn't the action that we needed. We need more people to go vote. You know, you need to go vote like for your, you know, your local Democrat or your local whoever aligns with your views morally. You know what I mean? Like we gotta get more people voting.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good solution.
Okay, well, you guys are free to go unless you have anything else you want to say. Thank you so much, though, for your time. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.